Hello YouTube, Best for the Goats here, and today I brought one of the newer decks to release to locals in Goblin Riders, or Goblin Bikers, rather, whatever. So basically this is an XC based rank 3 deck. Gee, I wonder why I like this deck. And yes, I will be making a Burning Abyss build soon. I actually went 3-1 today, losing only to the new Magispector deck. So what this deck wants to do is make powerful rank 3s and 6s, and use them to detach material from both sides of the field to gain advantage. Let's take a look. So I played 3 Dug the Quarters, basically the proxy, the third one hasn't come in the mail yet, I borrowed one from the locals today. This card on normal summon or special summon can search any of the back row, and also it can be summoned by touching material, which instead of our graveyard for future turns or further extension. And yeah, he's the best one for follow-up turns, because he can get us our rotor, he can get us our card that gives us extra points to push through for damage and make rank 6s, and he can get us the trap for negations. Kept calm without played 2 Sploder, 2 Merciless, and 2 Mac. So it's a bit of a heavier ratio than some builds I've seen play. I chose to play the 2 Merciless and Sploders because they can come out from the graveyard very easily by touching material. And they can also be used with the spell to buff up my goblins for a big OTK. But this one I want to talk about because it can sometimes touch material from your hand as well. So this card can be a hand trap as well as an extender. So if you're going second against a deck that uses XCs, this can mess up the game plan if they need 2 materials to attach for an effect, or if they or it makes them not that good in the grind game. This is our best summon if we don't get one of our tour guides, because it can summon itself and then it brings in a Goblin Rider with it, so it's a 1-card XC. Which, by the way, this deck probably doesn't have many of those. So yeah, I actually was playing more of these originally, but I realised that you want to play more of the non-engine rank 3 level 3s. So this is the ratio we're going to go with. Finishing off with the main goblins, we have the 3 of the Rotor entrance. This card is bonkers. It's a Rotor. If you have an XT on the board, you can detach material to get another summon, and it can also recur cards from your graveyard, all on the same turn. That is nuts. And backing that up, we have 2 with the Bash, which, by the way, is very easy to mix up these 2 when you're going through your deck quickly. I did it, I think, once today, but when I was testing it, I did it a couple of times. So anyway, this card buffs away goblins by 300 points every goblin you control. It lets you turn their levels to 6, so you can make rank 6s. And it grants you an extra normal summon. If you get hand trap the first time, you can use this to carry on with your plays. I'm playing 2 with this because I'm playing a bigger Goblin engine than what decks are. But you can put this to 1 if you want to play less of that and play more rank 3, more level 3 extenders. And finally, the trap, then this card negates things and gives you quick XCs. So those are the Goblin part of the deck. We are currently playing 15 Goblin cards overall. So that means that means 25 cards in this deck, at least, are non-engine. Probably more, I think it's 42 cards, so just more than that. But anyway, let's get to this. 3 Tour Guide, obvious. And this is the main reason why I play this deck. I love Tour Guide. Although I think in the future, actually, I would cut this to 2 and maybe play like a Sangan instead. Because this deck relies a lot on its non-engine, so having a way to search a hand trap to my hand would be really good. And also, this card is the biggest Ash bait ever. Like, it's not as bad as in Burning Abyss, where an Ash will pretty much end your turn if this gets hit, but in a lot of situations, that can be the case. Especially if you've got no other ways to get a level 3 on the board to make an XC. So at least if you play a Sangan with this, you can at the very least get a hand trap to maybe interact with the opponent on their turn. Next up, with the Terratop engine, 2 Terratop, 1 Tuckatumborg. This, I think, is really good. It's a special summon from your hand if you've got anything on the field. What makes Tuckatumborg really good in this matchup is the fact that because you've got wins in the main deck with the Goblin Riders, even if you just open this without the Tuckatumborg, it's not a brick like it used to be. Because you can just go summon, sorry, his name's good, summon Mac, and then you can switch summon this to get your rank 3. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this comes to 3 on the next list, because this is really good for the deck. Then we play the 2 Psychic cards, and to bounce, and we also play E-Tellies to go with those. And we also, this is in the hand traps, but I'll also put this here as well. We also have a Ghost Ogre, which I would have probably played 2 of if I played the deck again. So what makes this card so good is it's not once per turn because it's an old card. So meaning opening 2 of these can get you into an XCs with these. But also if you open up 2 of them, you can go 1 of them into this to do your plays. Then your opponent's turn, you can set the other one, and then now you have this to summon from your deck as disruption. Each of these is a broken card. I think this should go back to 1 at some point. This thing is so good. I only played 1 of each of these because I didn't want to clog up on too many, and I think that was the right ratio. Then we have Rotor, Surge, Doug. And we have our 2 bricks in Shot and Armored Xyz. Shots this deck, we do play the Ghost Trick Alucard, Ghost Trick Angel package. So both of these, so that's why it's played. But problem with this card is it's one of the worst bricks I've played in any deck. If you draw this, the Ghost Trick engine just doesn't work. So yeah, just be careful with that. You could also, I didn't play the Kagamushin Knights in this build, but if you want to do Rota, that's another option you can go with. And Kagamushin Knight is really good for chamber locking your tour guide, so that's something I may consider putting back in the deck in the future. And then we have all of our hand traps and other interactions with our opponent. First up, 2 talents, because this deck, even though this deck can extend a lot once you make an XCs, while you're getting there, you are very vulnerable to things like Ash and Ash and Veiler. So this is a good way to hopefully dig deeper and see another way to extend. If you do get Ash on your tour guide, for example, you can use this to try and get your hands on another way to put a second body on the board. And then the rest of this is just hand traps. Best hand trap in the format right now is Draw and Lockbird. With things like Silent Voice ring around, this card can be backbreaking. Honestly, like I said, this is one of the reasons why I want to consider a Sangan in the future. Because if you can go through your combos and get a Sangan on the board, you can use it to make your rank 3, send it to the grave, and then search your Draw and Lockbird. So that way, if you're playing like Silent Voice, you pretty much have an automatic win. Because Silent Voice has a very hard time dealing with this card. Next up we have the 3 Ashes, and finishing it off we have 3 Imperms. These are the best, I think, generic hand traps. You could also play Veiler if you wanted, or Ghost Spell because it's another level 3 that you can play in a pinch. But these are the best because I think they hit the broadest spectrum of cards. Again, I also think in the future I'd put a second Ghost Ogre back in the deck, because if I drew it, it meant sometimes my Italians actually were dead. So I think in the future we'll probably put in 2 Ghost Ogres, and depending on your method, you can also play Ghost Bells. Okay, moving on to the extra deck. We'll start things off with the 2 Mungers. One thing, I love that this card doesn't need to detach to get it to search, it just gets it on the summon. So that means even if this card gets hit with a Veiler or whatever, you've still got a body that you can use like a mule to detach material for the other effects, because that's pretty much all it does after that. It just sits there building up material by getting cards from your deck at the end phase or taking them from your opponent when you detach a material. So then you've got endless fodder for pretty much all those cards I showed you before, like the Mac, the Sploder, and the Merciless. This gives you options to both extend on the second turn, or possibly disrupt on the opponent's turn by buffing your monsters up with the continuous spell. And I actually am playing 1 Crazy Beast to go with that, because a lot of my locals play a lot of back row and a lot of field spells, so getting them off the board with this is really good, especially against things like the Horus engine, because you can use this to just gobble up their sarcophagus. And same thing with, I played this against the Magispect to play at my locals today, stole his field spell. He did still win, but it did make it much more difficult. Next we have the Armored Xyz package to go along with the trap. This gives us card draw, and this gets us the trap to go into this, which gives us another suck up. In addition to this thing becomes massive when you make it with the XDs, with this card giving it a buff. So it's pretty good going second, just swing for lethal. Next up, the Ghost Trick package, Double Mischief, 1 Alucard, and the F-Zero cards. Now, this deck is going to die to Nib. Like, there's not much moves you can play on Nib, unless you get very lucky. So you want to just try to get... So, I always say go for broke, try to get this online. Once this is on the field, you're going to get a monster that's very hard to out, that's going to steal at least 2 of your opponent's monsters, that has a lot of power to finish off on the next turn. In addition to this, if you're going second, one thing you can do, you haven't even got to go into the F-Zero. You can just go Alucard, get shot, So you know, go to a la carte, go into this, detach this, get shot, bring this back, make another one, and that's 4k damage on the board right there. And then we have Asura King. I'm glad I can finally play this card. I've been wanting to try in Burning Abyss, but it was just too resource intensive in that deck. But in this one, it's a 3 material Xyz that can attack at number times with material and can negate monster effects. Really good, again going second, or going first. Finally for our Xyz, we have 1 Gossip Shadow. This is our next out to Nibiru. And it also lets us rebuild our hand for follow-up. 1 Zeus, because we're making massive Xyz, why would we not play a Zeus? And this last card can be anything. Some people play Down Magician. You could play the Bird if you have more wins. But I chose to play Wallow for more graveyard disruption. And of course, if you have the money, you can play SP Little Knight. Money bags. And that's the extra deck. The side deck is very much catered to my locals, like usual, so don't take this as like the perfect side deck for your events. 3 Solemns. When I'm done going first, I can set up one of my lesser used hand traps in the matchup to get more guaranteed disruption. My Screw You branded card. This also came up in my match against Kashtira today because it showed up pretty much all of their main deck monsters. Then we have, speaking about anti-Kashtira cards, 3 Evenly and 3 Nib. This is to do with that. This is good in the mirror match. And this is just good against a lot of decks that want to make big boards. And with all the graveyard decks in my locals, I chose to also play 3 DD Crow. This could be Ghost Bell, but I think Crow was the better one for today. Because getting the cards out of the grave is more important than showing their effects off. And that was Goblin Bikers. So yeah, this is the pure build. I'll be doing other variants in the future, like I'm definitely going to try a Burning Abyss build, maybe the Punk build, and also some other techs I'm working on. I really enjoyed playing this deck today. It felt like I was back playing Burning Abyss for the first time again. And the fact that I went 3-1, I think I was very happy with that because I was in charge of this deck last week. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Also, expect deck profiles for the new Magic Spectre deck and Silent Voice on this channel from Haisha YGO and the Shonen Gamer hopefully next week. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys next time.